a wonderful day. It's a nice, cool, refreshing, rainy day here. A nice change from the heat. So today we're going to add additional levels, but first I want to do a little bit of maintenance. So the first thing I want to do is make our player a prefab again. So I'm going to drag him over into our prefabs. And there we go. Anything that you feel is going to be used in every level, we can go ahead and turn into a prefab. So the death bar maybe as well. Yeah, I think that's probably it. You're going to end up having mostly prefabs throughout most of your games. So now what I want to do is I want to create some borders. So I've decided that this particular level is going to be this size right here. You might want to make it bigger, and you can do that quite easily. So the thing I want to do is I want to control how far the player can go. And there's three ways we can do that. The first is I can just extend this background out far enough so the player would never be able to get this far. The second way is we could code it. We could say if his X value is more than a certain amount, then or less than a certain amount, then we can't continue progressing this way or that way. And then another option is we can just put up an invisible barrier. You've probably played a lot of games where there's invisible barriers. It's very common with games in the past, and we still see it today, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab a quick object. Let's grab this. We'll just grab this platform right here. I want to decide how far I want it to go out. We're going to do almost the same thing as we did with the death bar. I'm going to box collider 2D. I'm going to add that. I'm going to make the X value, I'm going to make the Y value. Let's go ahead and make it 10. Drag this up a little bit here. And then I'm going to go ahead and name this boundary. And we can leave it as a actual collider object. It's not a trigger this time, so we just want it to block him whenever he runs into it. So what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to turn this alpha down to 0. So it's just an invisible barrier. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this into our prefabs. And then on the other side of the map, maybe right here, I'm going to drag another boundary. And you can use the outline there to see where it's going to be. So now our player won't be able to push past these two areas. And that's all we need to do for the boundary. So now that we've got that, you can customize your level as you'd like. You can make it as big or as small as you'd like. Given the way we coded this and also how powerful Unity is, you can really add many, 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 many objects. You can make this level 10 times as long and you'd still be fine. So I'm going to play here. I'm going to show you two things. The first, if you want to see how efficient your game is running, you can click on stats and it's going to show the frame rate. So right now I'm at 76 frame rate. That's actually because I'm on my laptop's power saving mode without it plugged in. If I plug it in here, you can see I'm going to jump up to 800, 900, depending on whatever I may be running it, up to 2,000 frames per second. I'm going to run, bounce, 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 and you can see I hit against that wall and couldn't go any farther. So with that said, we're going to make our next level. I'm going to hit Control and S to save if I haven't already. I'm going to go to Scenes. I'm going to click on level 1, and I'm going to click Control D to duplicate. And then I'm going to make sure I'm on level 1, 1, and type level 2. Okay, with level 2 there, all right, we're good to go. So level 2, I want to double click to make sure I go to level 2 there. And remember, we're going to go to Build Settings and Add Scene. Again, this doesn't matter particularly right here, but I always like to have something in an order of how I feel the actual game flow is. So I'm going to put it up there, but it's not necessary. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click and then hold Shift and click on all of my backgrounds. And then I'm going to go into the inspector in the sprite renderer. By the way, when you click multiple things, if there's a dash, it means they have different values. If there's an actual number, it means they're the same value. So you can see all of these have BG Forest 1, And I'm going to go ahead and change it to our second forest right here. And I'm going to click out. And you might have to check to make sure these are perfectly tessellating, and it looks like it's actually perfect. All right, so we now have our level 2 set here. And if you want to change the color of these, you can. If you want to, change some different things. So one thing we're going to try though, I'm going to take one of these platforms, this platform grass, and I'm going to go to prefab. I'm going to go to unpack completely. And I'm going to change a couple things around. Actually, let me see. Let's put it here. No, there we go. I'm going to make this platform. So it's the same thing. I just switched out the art. It's a quick way of changing it. And we're going to call it, I'm going to click here. I'm going to call it platform. We'll call it yellow grass. And then I can go ahead, if I want, to drag this over into prefabs. So we now have two different platforms. I'm going to delete all these other platforms because I don't need them. I want to use our new platforms. I'm going to click on this, Control D makes a new one, Control D makes a new one, Control D makes a new one, Control E makes a new one. Let's, we can move our coins around somewhere. These spikes right here, click, Control, click, click. Oops. All right, we'll move them one at a time. That's what the game wants. Put this up here. Put this one right here. So you have to jump across a couple. Maybe I'll even make this a little bit bigger. Make the Y value a little bigger. So you have to jump. More difficult jump. Okay, thing. And because we coded efficiently, I can hit Control D and duplicate these and make as many as I want, and it will automatically set the number of coins needed to collect. We can also, let's say this right here, I can move this up here. I will click flip Y to flip it upside down, and we now have spikes there. So we have a very dangerous jump. We might want to make this a little smaller. We don't want to make it too difficult. And do whatever you want for this. And you now have your second level. The thing we need to do to continue though is we need to go back to level 1, and on our, where is it? See, we've got a lot of objects. That's why you want to have very detailed things. On the scene to load, we now want to have level 2 for level 1, right? Because we want to move to level 2. And on level 2, let's click save. On level 2, in our script object, we want to have you win because that's where we want to go. But if you create another level, you'll want to have, on level 2, you'll want to go to level 3, go to level 4, go to level 5, go to level 105, and then finally to victory. I'll see you in the next one.